Welcome everyone to our weekly community meeting for developing Cozystack. Please put your name into the list. I'll copy and paste it into chat. I would say that we have Telegram group where you can connect and ask your questions. We also have Slack group in official Kubernetes Slack. We don't have anyone new in our meeting. Would like to introduce yourself? So I'll just switch to agenda. And in agenda, we have new Cozystack release. I'm going to tell a little bit about it. So yesterday we released a new version. This version was targeted to enhance the performance and to enhance tenant Kubernetes clusters. A couple of components were updated. KubeVirt itself, Kamaji operator for Kubernetes control plane. It was updated to version 1.0, so it should be stable now. We also updated cluster API and all the provisioner providers components. We also hard-coded versions of them in the spec. Small update for Piraeus. It's the tool which is used for deploying LinStore. One of the important updates here that now we support reconfiguring the tenant Kubernetes node groups without any troubles. It can be reconfigured right now. The change was done very interesting way. I'm going to explain how is it done. Yeah, there is some slightly difficult Helm logic, but after all, first, I'm going to tell you about what the problem was. The problem was that this KubeVirt machine template resource is immutable. So in case if user created config with a specific amount of CPU and CPU cores and RAM, it can't be simply changed in previous versions. Now it can be changed because we generate specific config and it calculates its name by the hash from its spec. So when you're changing your network, when you're changing your node group configuration, the new config will be created and machine deployment will be reconfigured to using the newer KubeVirt machine template. In this way, the old one will be removed in case if there are no any running machine sets who is consuming this KubeVirt machine template anymore. So this is biggest update for Kubernetes. It also was updated to the latest Kubernetes version 1.30. And that's it. Also a few changes from for Jinx ingress controller by Kingdom. I guess you still didn't solve your problem, but hopefully we made this a little bit more officially supported configuration. So this is about new release. Do you have any questions? I can answer them right now, or we can switch to the next agenda topic. Okay, thank you. In this way, I would ask Timur to introduce the next topic.
Yes, Heather, we would talk today about your experience with Cozystack. We want to understand how you see Cozystack, what is it for you, and something like that. It is needed for our understanding what is Cozystack exactly and in which direction we have to develop this platform.
Yeah, actually, we wanted to collect some feedback from the community to understand better where to go and how to develop the Cozystack. There's some couple of questions. Timur put them here, and I would like to ask them one by one. And if you have some opinion, please share it with us. So the first question is, what is Cozystack for you, and how do you understand and explain Cozystack? Can somebody please answer on this question? Marianne, please.
Yeah. Probably I find Cozystack is a platform to easy setup, easy and fast setup platform on all different infrastructures like cloud providers or bare metal servers, and maybe one of the point which need maybe to implement in Cozystack is create integrations with exist platforms like Proxmox or other cloud providers like AWS or VMware infrastructure and else, and fast setup and integrate to these platforms. It's my point.
Thank you. Anybody else?
I would say for me, Cozystack is the Rails to Kubernetes. It's the opinionated distribution of Talos that provides all the batteries included. Everything that I would want to get from a regular cloud provider, I can get from Cozystack. All of the reasons why I would say setting up Kubernetes on a cloud provider is advantageous. You get all of those things from Cozystack. You get distributed storage. You get the capability to make databases and virtual machines. You can use KubeVirt, or you can build your own Kubernetes clusters from virtual machines if that's what you want to do by hand using kubeadm. From Rails, why I say Rails has this concept that everyone raves about called conceptual compression. And I've seen this in other platforms where there's a stack of things. The things all have their own novel properties, like a Postgres database that has the capability to do write-ahead log replication. So there's no write gap or something in the backups. Where all of these things need to be configured a certain way to perform really well. And I feel like for the average person who would go to pick up all these things, who knows what all these things are, go to pick them all up and set them up in a reasonable configuration, there just isn't time for most people. When you build a platform like this, you can't set these things up all by yourself. You can't read every manual. You should know how all the components work, and there's no silver bullet shortcut to get to that point where you actually have command over things when things start going wrong, because these are distributed systems. You obviously need to know how they work, but to be able to set them up and see how it's supposed to work should be easy.
Great, thank you. Hi, Robert. We just decided to collect some feedback from the community. and you came to our first question. It might be interesting if you want to. You can answer as well. What is Cozystack for you, and how do you understand and explain Cozystack?
Okay, from my side, Cozystack is as you wrote on your website, it's the platform as a service. That's mean for me, I'm a hardware provider. Even I am developer, and for this hardware, I need to have a stable infrastructure for building the stable environment where the customer can deploy their application or their traffic. And from this point of view, the Cozystack provide me such functionality or such features which I can build on, or can help me, or can help us, somehow to brings all project into the life, into real use case, because so far we suffer for a standard way how to deploy or how to provide the turn on key on hardware. So that's the reason why I see Cozystack as a very valuable project for me, for Baby Cloud. I'm very new in this project. Vision is to in July to somehow to get familiar and to be somehow make documentation, and then we should become much more contributing into the into the project or into the, and also my vision is also to establish some group which will in here in Slovakia. Even I am in Berlin now. I would like to establish some contributing guys which can provide some insight into or some their work into this project.
Wow, that sounds exciting.
That's also I had one guy in my group or in my relating project, and they solve also the how to deploy to customer side Kubernetes, and they have some customers, potential customers, but they had a still problem how to set up the environments on their side, and this customer had to do a lot on their side, and they had to communicate a lot. But if you will be able to provide some easy going solution, that will be very and stable. It will be also very interesting use case how I see the Cozystack as a big value.
Thank you.
That's
Anybody
all.
else?
At the end, I can make the pitch for my baby project, but I don't want to disturb the.
You can free to share it. Let's finish agenda, and I think we can
No.
talk
I
about.
will put it into chat, into Telegram.
Okay. Okay.
Just don't worry. That's it's something like advertisement, but maybe
No,
for
we
someone.
are totally okay with advertising other projects. Even if you are adopter, it's always makes sense. I think we will create adopters document soon, so you can also put your information that you're adopting Cozystack in your product, and with all the links. I think this will be available soon, or
That will be nice
maybe we
also.
can even already have it. I'll provide you more information later. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you,
So
Andre.
we are switching to the next question. The next question is, if you would like to find something like Cozystack, how would you search it? And what keywords you would use for doing that?
Kubernetes platform or something like that.
Any other ideas?
Or platform as a service, or database as a service.
I had my motto, cloud for everybody. That means with the connection with my hardware or baby cloud hardware and the Cozystack easygoing can be really touching the non-technical, not deep technical guys. Yeah, that's also. So this means something for, I don't know how to say. That's we can, our community or potential customer can be wide. Yeah.
Okay. I would also put my opinion. I think it might be
Andre,
PaaS.
sorry, I need to leave because I
Okay.
just went for a while. But thanks for the opportunity to say my opinion how I see the Cozystack. Yeah.
Sure,
And
sure. Thank you.
and
for
have a nice
attending.
evening, guys. Yeah. For
Have a nice
everyone.
evening. Have a nice rest of the day.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, I'll continue. So I would like to search it by the text like PaaS on-prem or Kubernetes on-prem. Maybe, yeah, something like that. Hi, Ruben. We just making survey. If we collecting feedback from the community, if you can answer a few questions, we can. We are happy to hear your opinion as well. So we just prepared the list of some questions. If you can answer, I think it might be useful for us to understand direction and better to prepare the materials better. So the first question was, what is Cozystack for you, and how do you understand and how explain Cozystack? Would you like to answer?
Yeah, sure. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. So for us, for example, we are looking for solution like Cozystack for our business solutions. I mean, we have several applications that we were running in Docker's form, so we decided to take them to the Kubernetes, and as well, beside of them, we have some development. We have some plans to develop applications, for example, also for our business needs, and for sure, new developers. No, not new developers, but for sure, if we can, we must develop something new today. For sure, we must use some microservices architecture like Kubernetes and so on, because it's the most popular solution now in the business. And for us, for example, when I was researching the architecture, how to achieve these tasks, I saw the Cozystack, but also I have a few questions because, for example, if we have used Cozystack for our business needs and we have installed some business applications, and for example, we have a team that for now, I don't know, they must develop some application for our customers, and they need Kubernetes, in order to install the applications they need for developing all that. So there are a few applications, if we are talking about business cases, that beside of etcd ingress and what else there was, monitor, that we can use in multi-tenant architecture. For example, we have also another applications that we would like to use it also in this case. So I mean, for example, I don't know, external secrets operator that we have in our main tenant, and we don't need to develop each time for the new managed Kubernetes virtualized managed Kubernetes service. So yeah, is there any plan? I don't know, maybe make some option when we can just check that this service also must be available for other tenant groups. For example, not only ATCT ingress and monitoring, but also we have some, if you are talking not about other cases there where it's for only separate customers. They can do what they want, but we are talking about business cases where we want to make some private environments. For example, this is for developer team, this is for another team, but beside of that main root applications that Cozystack supplied with his Bootstrap, we also need some other applications that we also want to check that, for example, external service operator is for all the tenants, so they can just only make new cluster secret for them and use it as well. And also there is one more question about the persistent volumes. So when we are bootstrapping Cozystack, we are using lean store, and we are using our hard disks. We are using our hardware disks already in maybe ZFS pool or LVM pool. But today I shared the article that I found about how to make some volume backups and other things. And for me, it's not clear how, if we are talking about our customer or even about our team who is using separate virtualized managed Kubernetes, how they can use that persistent volumes. If, for example, they need to configure some backup or something else, must they install some another solution using virtual hard disks that we are giving to them, or they are using the lean store from the root?
I can answer your questions. I think I can answer them right now, but we usually put them in OpenFloor, and later it's after we finish the agenda.
Okay.
Anyway, how to add an extra applications to Cozystack? Every application can be added simply by adding Helm repositories. So you can prepare the similar repository like Cozystack does, and you can join them and configure it the same way like normal Flux resources. They will be visible in dashboard. There also might be some consideration for specific applications which are really commonly used, like secret secret copy operator. I think it can be done. It can be implemented in tree. So in this way, it will be also supported by the platform, and it will be updated for by the release. With every release, I think this is also possible. I think we should check every specific case separately and to talk how to implement this, or if it's not possible to implement, to provide at least opportunity for providing to make a pluggable interface for such things.
Yeah.
As about
just a short remark. For example, I don't think that our company is best sample about some customer case, but for example, what was one of the main reasons why we choose now Cozystack, because if you are talking about that, company knows that I don't know, Kubernetes is one of the most popular things that if we must use them for our business needs, if we have applications that are relevant to Kubernetes. So for us, it's good that Cozystack already have maintained some things. I don't know, network drivers and other configurations that we don't need to understand, because there is a lot of them. I don't know, Flannels, Cilium and other on, and what to choose, what is the best case to use such tools or not such tools. So for us, when Cozystack takes to him all that first layer, what must be used and why it must be used, it's for us simpler, because, for example, we don't need to administrate Kubernetes. We want to use it for, I don't know, deploying some applications. That are all, for example, they must be used only for Kubernetes, or it's simpler to use them there. So for us, I already told that we are not the best customer case why we are using Cozystack, but for us it was as the first reason why we choose it, because we don't need to think about all the things what we use, because when it's already deployed and we are already using the stack that we have created, I think that is really hard after to go to another architecture, and we worried about that. We want that the first our stack is already ready for some production use, and Cozystack give us that opinion. He gives us ready for production use already Kubernetes, where we can just already deploy all the applications we want and just do the business solutions to why we have installed Cozystack Kubernetes itself.
Very cool. Thank you. I really like your feedback because I think it's really lights up, shed a light on the things which we didn't think. That people usually don't like to administrate bare metal servers and they don't want to spend their time on this. And I think that's exactly the case you mentioned. How would you like to search Cozystack, or which keywords would you like to use it for it?
What keywords? You know, I found Cozystack when I was searching how to bootstrap on bare metal Hestner server. So first I found Talos, and after when I was searching information about Talos already on YouTube, I found the Cozystack. So I don't know how Hestner is popular, but when I was researching information, I found out that many people are using Hestner bare metal servers because it's a good offer from the data center, and I think that Hestner is popular among them. So there were a lot of options with Cat3s, but when I found out Talos, next information that I found, it was already Cozystack. So I think that Cozystack is now relevant to keywords like something like Talos, but maybe if we search for, I don't know, Bootstrap ready Kubernetes on bare metals, it will be good keywords to find Cozystack, because it is, as I told already, it is resolving many questions. Because when I was searching even when to use Planel, when to use that one, for different business cases, also persistent volumes. There is Longhorn and a lot of other solutions, but you don't understand, because in Docker it was very simple, and like people like me who is going from Docker Swarm to Kubernetes, it's not so simple, because there was very simple everything. You just, I don't know, mount the drives to the container and it's okay. But here it's already a very big architecture, and the thing I love that you, like developers of Cozystack, have a lot of not I don't remember the word in English, graduation, how Kubernetes must work. You are administrating it for already many years, and it's like you just give already ready Kubernetes. We just need for 5 minutes. Don't tell the truth, 15 minutes maybe, not 5, but we have already ready Kubernetes, and you don't need to think, have I done that all correctly? So maybe bootstrapping and bare metal, something like this. I think.
Well, the thing you're talking about, it is more about putting experience into product. What exactly happened here. We just accumulated our experience and put it into product. Finally, you got Cozystack. Okay, what the solutions were compared with? Ruben mentioned K3s. Maybe can anybody also put your opinion on this? Is there any solutions which can be competitor or were considered to use Cozystack or something else?
Well, maybe own cloud. I was thinking of Cozystack generally as a platform for building a cloud. So I think anything that allows to build the cloud to go here.
You said own cloud, or what do you mean?
Own cloud, yes. I just heard about that, but I don't know very much about it. Own cloud, yes, it's one word. Mm-hmm.
I was pretty sure that this is solution for sharing the files and making group work, like collaboration.
Okay. Well, maybe we could think about some platforms like for building your on-premises cloud. I think everyone would go here.
Okay. Anybody else?
I don't know if this is so much a competitor as maybe potential integration in future. vCluster, it's competitor to KubeVirt anyway. The
Interesting.
performance is very good. I've had a good experience with vCluster, and they have a CAPI provider, which everyone thought they were going to abandon, and now they've suddenly started to maintain again, and it's turning out really well.
Yeah, this is solution for multi-tenant and making multi-tenant Kubernetes. They run multiple separate APIs and isolate resources in containers.
I think it runs a K3s control plane, and each virtual vCluster gets a namespace to itself, and the pods are just mapped to the host cluster. So KubeVirt for me was a game changer because I realized that I don't have enough nodes. With the default node limits, at least, you can raise those node limits a little bit, but at some point you run up against CNI limits in whatever size CNI you've allocated. And so with KubeVirt, you can expand past, because with vCluster, if you have 10 vClusters on a 3-node cluster, then you have a 3-node pod limit across 10 vClusters. But with KubeVirt, if you start adding nodes as virtual machines, each one increases the capacity of the cluster in terms of pod limit per node. So,
Thank you. Anybody else?
Sure, one more thing. I thought of maybe EKS from AWS could be mentioned here, because there were talks about using Cozystack in AWS as a replacement for EKS for some reasons.
KOS?
EKS, yeah, it's managed Kubernetes in AWS.
Okay. I just hear you very badly, and if you could
Okay.
write it into chat, I think.
like
EKS.
EKS.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. AKS. Thank you. Okay, the most exciting question. What is your experience starting with Cozystack? Issues and cool moments. Do you remember something like that?
Change my point in a minute, and I will talk a little bit about this.
Okay, probably that was a really bad experience starting with Cozystack. So we are all together here. In what cases did you use Cozystack? What features and functionalities did you use in last 2 weeks? I can start from myself. I use tenant Kubernetes. And probably Kafka. The last 2 services I used in the past 2 weeks. And you?
My Cozystack is still pre-production. I'm tearing it down and standing it back up multiple times a week.
Okay.
I'm hoping to migrate vClusters onto it so that it will be able to grow by a few more nodes, because I currently have an alternate cluster that runs kubeadm and many vClusters on only 2 nodes. So.
Thank you. And the next question, what did you use before Cozystack? Why did you not like the previous way of doing this? And I think Kingdom already answered that he was using vCluster.
Yes, but it does not allow me to scale without growing the physical infrastructure past a certain point. It does work very well at the lower limits of scale, and I think there's a good opportunity to use them together.
Yeah, we had an idea to use vCluster for making federation, because it's, if I understand it correct, we can use vCluster for joining multiple Cozystack clusters and install applications inside of it. That might allow us to enable configurations when we deploy, when we use the same operators, but deploying Postgres databases, Kubernetes in multi-zone configuration. Don't you know if we can use it?
Yeah, one of the really neat features in vCluster is this cluster CRD sync plugin, which it didn't start as a plugin, but they did eventually build it out into a plugin. When I started using it, I noticed that when you have an ingress controller installed on the parent cluster and you create a vCluster, you can configure it in such a way where you don't need an ingress controller on the internal cluster. So similar, but also different to the way that Cozystack has set up ingress add-on, because there is no controller that sits inside of the cluster. It just takes the ingress rules from inside the vCluster and replicates them to the outside cluster with some mapping, like it does with pods. So you can do that with any resource type, certificates or services, load balancers, and then, of course, CRDs.
That sounds really cool. We decided to go the different way, so we just install tenants and Jinx ingress clusters into every Kubernetes cluster. Not sure if this would work with, even if we use this vCluster extension. But my idea was to configure multiple bare metal clusters with separate control planes to have common space for installing tenants and other resources like databases, and have them controlled by the single operator running inside this vCluster. Not sure if we can go this way, but that's one of the tasks. This is in our roadmap, and I think we have to research a solution for federation, because right now we have no any solution for this. Okay.
Can I make a short remark? Also, this is a question, not my conclusion. So, but I just have some doubts about whether Cozystack will be primarily popular among companies that want to create managed Kubernetes services, because it's organizing such company that provides, or I don't know, sales managed Kubernetes. It's already implied that the company must have specialists on staff, because it's their main business direction, selling and managing Kubernetes. So for me, it seems to me that it will be more popular among companies that want to have Kubernetes for internal needs without delving too much into administration. So because as I told already, I think that when they want to give, for example, cloud managed Kubernetes, they must already have a lot of GitHub specialists that can administrate it, can do some work, and I think that for myself, I think that it will be most popular among other companies. They are developing some applications and they just need only Kubernetes in order to install their applications and to use them. For maybe I'm wrong, but for first opinion, like a man who is just looking at this, this is my conclusion at this moment.
Thank you. Just put it into the list. How is it going with updates? Can anybody share your experience with updating Cozystack?
Well, let me break in. Can I get back to experience maybe? Just for a short time.
Sure.
Oh yeah. So talking about experience, one thing for me that I can consider bad that to deploy Cozystack, to just run it, you need a bunch of resources. You need some CPU, you need some memory. It's not just running a couple of Docker containers, So speeding it up, it takes some resources. And I was kind of struggling for the first time to just spin it up on my desktop machine, just to run all required virtual machines and stuff. So that may consider as a bad maybe side, but for sure a cool side is that everything is managed by Helm charts, so you can just go and check and you can understand at most everything, how everything works and how everything is deployed. And the only thing you need to know is a platform Helm chart and installer bash script, and that's how you know how your platform works. And I think that's pretty cool stuff.
Thank you. And Flux, did you say?
Installer and platform Helm chart. The main chart that templates every Helm release in the platform. That are basically the things you need to know if you want to understand how the platform works. I'd say that.
That's a cool point. Thank you. Thank you for feedback, even for bad one. We like to collect the bad things because we can make them better. At least we start knowing about them.
Yeah, that's what I saw like many times in our Cozystack chat, that people try to spin up a Cozystack installation, and they're a bit stuck because they need like 80 CPUs at least and 16 gigs of memory and so on. And I think just to run it, to have some, how do they say that? To make it do things, you need more and more.
Yeah, that's correct. Okay. And the last question is, with what tools and infrastructure do you use Cozystack? With what software and processes do you integrate Cozystack? I can answer from my side that Cozystack is infrastructure platform used for delivering software on-prem and create environments. So we had such case when one of our clients needed to deliver their application, and they need actually stable infrastructure, stable Kubernetes infrastructure with managed services. So they just consuming Cozystack, and they're happy because they can create devil staging production environment and run them similar way for everything. Do you have any other questions, other cases? Ruben, something mentioned that you also.
Yes, that's the main reason why I think that Cozystack will be most popular in such cases, because when we have not such more practice about how to administrate Kubernetes and making some isolated environments, you are sure that your developers can't anyway affect your managed Kubernetes. So you just give them that virtual environments for dev, for staging and so on, and they are just doing their job. And even if you need already some more things, you can for sure ask Cozystack to give you some enterprise support. And I think that's the best thing, because otherwise you just must use, for example, when I was researching that information, I found a lot of K3s bootstrapping options. I don't know, from Hester Clouds or on bare metals and so on. But when I saw the Cozystack, when I saw that Kubovi and Cilium and so other on, I understand that, for example, if everywhere you just use Flannel and so on, here it's already more professional managed Kubernetes, which, as you say, that all your expertise, I don't know, is there such word in English? But all that many years, all that you know how is, what tools are working well and so on, and you have already gathered all this into a stack. And for me, like a business, I don't need to care all about that. I just install Cozystack, give some environments for production, for dev, and I don't care that they can affect somehow my managed service, because they are already isolated. And if I need some more support, for sure, I can ask for Cozystack to give me some enterprise support to have some more tools or something else.
Got it. And we are finishing our survey. Very thanks to everyone for participating in it. I hope that wasn't tough. But now we have answers and we understand. I hope we understand. We will process it and we will understand our product better. And that's very important for us at this phase, because we are still a startup company and we are finding ourselves, despite the fact we already know what we do. That's always better to keep in sync with the community and with the adopters and other people who's developing and using it. So thank you. Now let's.
I'm sorry, Andrei, can I add some
Sure.
1 point to first question? What is Cozystack for me?
Sure.
So I thought that Cozystack is a kind of a source of expertise, maybe. So you can see how it is done in Cozystack and implement it in your infrastructure, maybe. Maybe some
really
pieces of
like
it.
this meaning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is the source of expertise for me, for sure.
That's one of the reasons it's called Cozy.
Uh-huh.
Because it's set of the Cozy technologies which we use for many years, and we find them really useful and really perspective for solving such infrastructure tasks. Now let's switch to OpenFlower. Ruben had some few questions. First was about how to add extra applications into Cozystack, and I'm going to show you right on GitHub. We have few kinds of applications. All of them can be found in packages directory, and you can see their set of applications. Every application is typical Helm chart. We have core. The core is 2 packages out of which platform is built from. The installer is just the thing which installs core things like it does initial C9 installation and some things to make the rest things working. The platform chart includes all the configuration which should be done, which should be put into Kubernetes to be installed and to install what we have. The rest things, we have system directory, and it holds all the needed things like for system things. There is Circ Manager, Cilium, there is dashboard, I know Kamaji, some set of operators, the thing which makes Cozystack working. So all of them is just typical Helm charts, which is developed by using umbrella chart pattern, but this umbrella chart just includes the one upstream chart. So it allows us to easily update and maintain it. After all, it is normal Helm charts, so we can just, the system components can be done here. can be put here. Right now, we have no any opportunity for installing external system components, but you can do this using standard Flux approach. Like you can put needed components into your repository, then connect it to Cozystack using standard Flux CD approach. The most interesting part here that we have two more folders. The applications, apps, that's exactly what you see in the dashboard. So when you're installing new Kubernetes, it's get installed from here. If you're installing new Postgres, it's also going to be installed from here. If you can open it, you can see that it is same Helm chart. If you want to provide your customers to see, to your clients to see this, not clients, I would say administrators, because we don't really like when customers have access to directly to management cluster. It is management cluster. It is more for administrator and for some integrations. But still, it depending on your case. If you run Cozystack in enterprise, it might be useful to provide some extra services for your customers like this way. So you can prepare some application like this. It is very simple. I think Redis can be taken as an example. What it does, it just puts free YAML files, and then you can prepare Helm repository. It requires Helm chart museum format, and then it can be configured in Cozystack, so you can connect your repository and allow your users to install your applications right the same way like you do for normal in-tree applications. There is also extra folder. It holds just free Helm charts, which it can be installed per tenant. So it is not allowed to run two separated CD clusters in one tenant, because it is like more likely system applications, but user-faced, I didn't know how to call them, so it's called just extra. So when you're deploying new tenant, you can put a specific switcher into turn on position, and it will install also each CD, ingress, or monitoring for specific tenants. If you want to extend it like this kind of application, I think right now there is no easy solution for this, because it will require you to modify tenant application. Tenant is the similar application like any others. It's just templating YAML files from the templates directory, and it will require you somehow configure it. If you're not using dashboard, if you're using APIs, it might be easier because you can extend it, or you can create your own fork. So it's more about your case. Sorry, and we have 3 minutes left, so I'll quickly switch to the next question. That wasn't exactly about lint store volumes resizing, if I understood this correct. What it was about, could you please remember me?
For example, when I have created a virtualized managed Kubernetes service and give to, for example, for my production team.
Yeah, correct.
When they are creating some apps, what persistent volume they are using? They are using lint store, or they must develop something else for virtualized hard disk drives already?
The answer to this, that we use kubevirt CSI driver, and it allows you to request. So if you run your Kubernetes cluster, like tenant Kubernetes cluster, and if you creating new PVC out of this, the specific driver will pass through this request back to the management cluster. So lint store will provision this volume, and it will be connected directly to the virtual machine where it was requested. The only thing I found, yep.
So in these cases, I just worried about a little about today why I was searching for the article about how to backup that Lean store, because maybe for example, production team must use some S3 storage in order to back up all that volumes and so on. And for the UI things, I didn't find anything similar because I'm just already new to Lean store, and I didn't understand how to achieve such things and what to use, the FS to use all of them, because in the bottom of the article it was information about that with the FS pool, it's there's some bugs when you're trying to use some backups or mirroring.
There might be some issues. They depends on the CSI driver, which is done by Lean Store and Litbit organization. I know about those issues. They have slightly different logic for creating snapshots. In Kubernetes, you can create snapshot, then create new volume from this snapshot, then remove snapshot. And that not exactly supported by ZFS. It has some limitations. Especially, it is supported by ZFS, but in different way how you can do this. So you can make a fun snapshot, and it's some kind of technical details here. The only thing I'm trying to say here that there is such a limitation with snapshots. You can consider using LVM thin, but it will require you to add extra module for your Talos configuration. You can ask in chat, I'll help you with this. Or we can help you for preparing the newer version of CSI driver for Lean Store for have no such issue. This is also possible.
That's great.
Yeah, we're working with Leanbit, and I'm also part of Piraeus community where it is this driver get developed. We're just looking for sponsors who would like to sponsor such development. If you're interested in such thing, you can just ask us, and we will help you to prepare the fix and pushing this into upstream project.
Sure, we will be glad to.
In this way, I would say thank you for attending. Time is up, and thank you everyone. Thank you for completing survey together with us, and see you next week, next same time.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye, everyone.
Have a nice evening.